I recall my first time on an elevator and how my heart skipped a few beats. What do you do when you've never used an elevator? So before you find yourself in this kind of situation or hear yourself shouting, help me, it dey carry me where I no. I'll advise you to go with me as I talk about simple rules for boarding and exiting an elevator.
Manners on the go.
Hello and welcome to Manners on the Go. I want to believe it's been a wonderful week so far, and I hope you're minding your manners as well. If you've been following for some time, you're welcome again. And if it's your first time today, you are in the right place and you're most welcome. I recall my first time on an elevator and how my heart skipped a few beats. I remember bragging thereafter that I'd rather use the staircase going forward. After all, it'll keep me fit. I have since learned that attempting to use the stairs in some high-rise buildings would be a suicide mission. I stopped claiming to be elevator phobic since then. An elevator is a small mechanized compartment of a building that serves as the fastest way to move people from one level to another. You don't go into a hospital, hotel, or some offices and find succinct instructions on how to use the elevator written somewhere. So to save yourself any form of embarrassment, you may want to pay attention to this video. What do you do when you've never used an elevator and you find yourself running late for an interview or an appointment to give an impromptu elevator pitch on the 10th floor of a building? Would you rather risk your chances and take the stairs or use the elevator? Let me share with you a short story of a lady who got into an elevator and was completely clueless about how it worked and what to do. All she knew was that she was in it for about 15 minutes with different people going in and out. And she kept wondering how they got to know just when to leave. She was too shy to ask, and she swayed in wonder and stayed out. Then a man who had earlier shared the space with her twice asked her if she was on an errand, because how else would he explain bumping into her the third time in the space of 15 minutes inside the elevator? That was when she dared to mention that she was going to the ground floor and she thinks she hasn't gotten there yet since she didn't get notified. The man, who happened to be a staff in the building, explained how it worked. Of course, she felt pretty embarrassed, but she could have saved herself from that if only she'd asked. So before you find yourself in this kind of situation or hear yourself shouting, help me, it dey carry me where I no. I'll advise you to go with me as I talk about simple rules for boarding and exiting an elevator. Number 1, if it's your first time using an elevator, make sure you are not the only one boarding. You should be with those who are familiar with the use and, when necessary, politely ask questions. There is no glory in shame. Number 2, stand to the side while you're waiting. While waiting for the elevator, stand away from the doors. Always let people exit before you attempt to board. Stand to the right of the doors so that the left and middle is open for those getting off the elevator. Don't board the elevator until everyone has gotten off. Number 3, be graceful and polite enough to give a greeting to those in the elevator when the door opens to you. I'm not saying you should show how culturally inclined you are by going on your knees. Of course not. A simple hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good day would do. 4, if you get a queasy feeling as soon as the elevator begins to move and you can't contain it, you should slightly lean on the wall or hold onto a handrail if one is installed in the elevator. Number 5, if you're standing near the elevator buttons, offer to take up the position of the button pusher. This shows courtesy and will save you the stress of everyone on your face wanting to press their applause button. On the flip side, don't ask someone else to push the button for you unless you obviously cannot push the button yourself. Number 6, when you press the button to board, pay attention till the door opens. 7, always check the direction of the elevator if it's going up or down before boarding to avoid any embarrassing situations. If there isn't an indicator lamp visible, kindly ask the elevator occupants which way it is moving. Nothing should be done to prevent the doors from closing. Number 8, no matter how many people are in the elevator, don't hit the button if you arrive just as the door is closing. Press the button to summon the next elevator after patiently waiting for the door to completely close. Number 9, ask someone to hold the door if you need to get on the elevator quickly. You should say, kindly hold the elevator please. Number 10, when boarding the elevator, be sure to make way for other passengers by standing as close to the wall or a corner as you can. Number 11, avoid using your phone in the elevator unless it's an emergency. If you're on a call before entering the elevator, disconnect the call and promise to call back. This isn't only not to inconvenience others, but due to the poor network in the elevator, your conversation may really not be smooth in an elevator. Number 12, be aware of your chats with co-workers in the elevator, especially when there are external customers present. Many individuals prefer to ride an elevator in silence, and you never can tell who is standing right next to you. 13, wait for an empty elevator if you're carrying heavy items. Also, please allow the elderly and the disabled the first privilege in and out of the elevator. 14, always let clients, patients, vendors, and visitors get off the elevator first out of respect for them. Men, unless you're blocking the door, be the gentleman and allow the lady to leave first. 15, call out, "My floor," to let other passengers know you want to exit the elevator if you're stuck in the rear or need to get out. Then make your way through the crowd while moving slowly but firmly. 16, it's only nice to give a helping hand to someone boarding the elevator with their hands full. 17, avoid any form of PDAs while in an elevator. Finally, you may always want to stay alert when using the elevator. What was your first time experience in an elevator like? Kindly share in the comments for others to learn and maybe have a good laugh. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. See you next week. Goodbye.
Manners on the go.